When you discovered the law of attraction, you started to believe anything was possible. Life got better, much better. Now you want more, but it's not working. That's where the Manifest It Now show comes in. If you've been waiting for someone who can teach you the practical application to manifest quicker and easier while having more, turn the volume up, because the dynamic duo, Cassie Parks and Ginny Gane, are ready to teach you how to live the law of attraction like they do. It's time to laugh and learn.
Hi, I'm Cassie Parks, and I'm here with Ginny Gane, your Law of Attraction coach.
And Cassie Parks, your magic money coach.
Today we are talking about
Law of Attraction.
And so all about the Law of Attraction, what that means to us, how it's impacted our lives, how we use it in our lives. I'm excited to get started. So, Jenny, why don't you tell us first, do you have a definition of Law of Attraction that you go by?
So I think I get this question a lot by people who don't really know what it is, but when I think of Law of Attraction, I just think like attracts like. What you put out there, you're going to get back. Yeah, I like to keep it pretty simple.
Me too. That's my definition. Like attracts like. You know, you're going to get what you're being like, acting like. You're going to get all of that. And so I always go with the most simplest definition. And funny enough, I looked up on Wikipedia, and that was also part of their definition. So
Be a few if we got it right.
Right. Which is awesome. Cool. All right. So based on that definition, tell us, what does the Law of Attraction mean to you?
Well, I would say to me, it's all about living an empowered life. Like the Law of Attraction it's there. It's always it's present, like a lot of people talk about like the law of gravity. It's always there. You can't, I'm going to choose to use the Law of Attraction. I love that. And just like, well, it's happening whether you like it or not. So just being aware of it is the cool thing, is the key to it all, right? And so what it means to me in my life is just living empowered. So you are the deliberate creator, means you're not the victim of things just happening to you. You are, empowered to make those choices and know that you're in control of what you're experiencing in your life. So I guess, I love just teaching people that they are in control and that they can have everything they want, One of my favorites is that Abraham Hicks, you can be, do, or have anything you desire.
Yes.
Yeah. What about you? What does it mean to you, like having the Law of Attraction in your life?
It's similar to you. So it means that I have a choice, right? I have a choice for, if something is going on today that I don't necessarily want to experience tomorrow, I have a choice in that.
Totally, I love that.
Yeah, I think that's powerful. And I think you brought up a great point about when people are like, I choose to use the Law of Attraction, or I'll get a lot of times in clients like, I believe in the Law of Attraction, I do this, which I think there's a certain amount of belief that goes into it, but it happens whether or not we're aware or not, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
I love pointing that out to people and to clients when they say, I'm gonna use it. I'm like, okay, awesome, And what were you saying? The choice. Yeah, that was one of the foundational things I think when I was growing up that brought me onto this path, I guess, that my parents always instilled. You always have a choice. And it's true, you always have a choice in everything. You can choose to feel happy or feel sad because no one else can, dictate that other than you. So, choice, you're right.
Right. I love that. And I love that example about your parents. It made me think of like, my mom would always say that too. Like, you have a choice. Like, someone else does something or something happens, but it's your choice how you react.
Yeah.
It's your choice what you think about it. And I love your point too. You have a choice. Happy or sad is a choice. Mm-hmm. People often come into my world that don't think that's a choice. Mm-hmm. And so I really love educating them, and because that's really what the Law of Attraction means to me in my life is choice.
Yes. Yeah. That's so much about that, just ties right into the empowerment part. Like when you know you have a choice, you feel empowered to make the choices that you want.
Yes.
Versus thinking you are forced into something. So just the change in perception and knowing that you always have a choice allows you to free up that, let go of some of that resistance to being like a victim in your life versus being an empowered individual and deliberate creator.
Awesome. Which is, I love that you mentioned letting go of resistance. That's totally, it's a great to help the law of attraction work the way you want it to get the things that you want. But it's also, letting go of that resistance is also a lot of times just feels a lot better.
Oh my gosh, that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
You want to feel good.
Yes.
That's all you need to know. Feel good.
Right.
Choose your feel good. Follow your feel good. Yeah.
Yeah. Feel really good.
So how do you, Cass? How do you feel how do you use the law of attraction in your life, or how do you observe it, kind of thing?
Observe it, or use it. So I would say, I use it all the time. If I had to put a number to it, my intention would be me using it about 90% of the time.
Awesome.
Yeah. Definitely over 50% of my life, because I like to just live life, right? Like sometimes I just want to go into an experience and I want to have it be wide open. But I've also done a lot of work that says, I want these types of experiences in my life. I want to feel this way. I want to own this. I want to be interactions that feel like this. And so there's so many different ways I use it in my life. I'm a big scripter. So I script every morning how, a day in my future life, which looks similar to my current life, but different. What's the same is the feelings. I definitely use scripting to activate those feelings. A lot of people have different ways that they activate feelings. Some of them, do 17 seconds before they get out of bed. Some of them, do different things. For me, scripting is really it.
I know your scripting has been super powerful for so many of your clients, and that's wicked.
Yeah, it's awesome, and it's shifted the way. I mean, I feel like ever since I started using the law of attraction, it enhances everything I do. So it's the perspective that I come from. Do I want more of this? Yes,
exactly. That's just how you said it. It's like the perspective that you come from. Like I was thinking of how much, I don't know if I could put a percentage on how much I use law of attraction, because I'm like, it's just part of my life. It's how I see the world now. Like I will look at any situation that happens in my life and be like, oh, well, what was I putting out there? Oh, that's why I got this back. Oh, I was at it was funny. What happened the other day, I was at the, bank trying to transfer some money, get some U.S. funds. And I came up to one cashier and it was like, all these questions and all this stuff and I was like, this doesn't need to be this difficult. And I walked away for a second because I needed to go do something else, get some cash out or something. And I came back. I'm like, okay, let's this is going to be easy. Just put that out there. Let's get happy about this. And then I ended up going to a different lady who was like, one question, bing, bang, boom, done. And I'm like, that's exactly it's a perfect example of how every day something super simple. It's just, what are you putting out there? What are you feeling right now? And that's what you're going to get back. So, yeah, living it, and I just live it every day.
Yes. Yeah. I love that example because it's such a great example of how easily you can shift it when you become aware and you utilize all of the tools. It's what you wanted was simple and easy, and just making that conscious choice, like we've talked about, really empowered your day.
Little thing, and it's just, that's what I always tell people about one of the first things to do or to become is to become more aware and to make that connection between feelings and emotions, and notice how our thoughts are connected to our emotions, and our emotions therefore are connected to what we're putting out there and that vibration we're sending out, and how that comes back to us in our day.
Yes. Yeah. And so I think a little bit of what we're saying too is if you become constantly aware of what you're doing, you can use the law of attraction constantly.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the time.
Would you say that you have to be aware in order to use the law of attraction?
125 million%, yes. It's the first step, awareness. Even, I know it's not always a part of law of attraction teachings, but I guess everything's always tied in some point, but awareness and being in that present moment is such a huge part of, living an empowered life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's so true. Yeah, awareness is key, because if you don't have awareness, you can't make adjustments. If you're not aware of what's going on at the bank, you're reacting to it, you don't have any awareness to change, and you don't have that choice, but that awareness brings that choice we're talking about.
Yes, and like you were saying, yesterday, the awareness of what's going on, like being tapped into how you're feeling. And we can't make the choice or the adjustment unless we're first know what's going on.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
go awareness.
I love awareness. The law of attraction in your everyday life.
Oh, what a great question. You know what? It's everywhere. And just like we talked about, just being the observer and knowing that that's what it is a huge part of it. Because you could go through your day and, all these things are happening, but you don't really realize that how the law of attraction is at play in those little experiences. One of my favorite things to observe is when I'm driving through stoplights, and those days when I'm like all greens, I'm like, yes, I'm totally in the vortex. This is amazing. Do you ever get those times?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, I love those days. And you're like, yeah. My example is, it's the lights too, but as you know, like I live in downtown Denver. And so it's like when the elevator's right
walk
there.
Everywhere.
Yeah. So it's like when I walk up and the walk signs are all in sync, when I walk up to the elevator and it shows up right away, like those are my like days like that.
Those are those signs that what are some other ways that I observe it? I don't know, just like knowing when I am seeing other people, like I'm running into a lot of happy people. I know I'm like, yeah. Or if I come across someone who's kind of like a little grouchy that day, I'm like, oh, well, Ginny, what are you putting out there? How are you feeling, I'm like, might need to make a little adjustment. Or if there's, it goes both ways, observing that you're going through a little bit of a struggle or observing that you're having a great day. It's just, you can totally notice. And when you get more and more familiar with it, you can feel like what the flow feels like, right? You know what that vortex feels like, or when you're like, okay, I'm not, I have some aligning to do here today.
I love that. So many good things about what you just said. Number one, being aware not only when things are flowing, but that awareness of asking yourself that question, like, where am I a little bit grumpy today? Where am I a little bit whatever today?
Yep, there comes that awareness in.
That's right. And I think that's a great thing to remember, right? Because you're right, we've said it a couple times already, but you can't change it unless you're aware of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think, it's what you focus on grows. And so if you're going through your day and you're thinking, oh man, that guy's a little grumpy, and you don't stop and ask yourself, you're probably going to get a grumpier person next.
Yeah, that's so perfect. That's Cass. Yeah, because, and when you can catch it right at the beginning, before that momentum of the kind of negative spiral goes down, it's so much easier to switch around and to be like, okay, got that. Okay, I'm going to switch around, bring my energy onto what I want, instead of like just staying in that grumpy state. But get the car before it starts rolling down the hill, right?
Right, yes. Yes, definitely. I actually, I have an experience where I have a visual of that, because I saw this car once just start back, rolling down the hill with no one in it. And so when you said that, it was like, yep, you got to catch it, right? You got to put the e-brake on.
Yeah.
Otherwise it just continues down the hill.
And you don't want to try and stop it at the bottom.
Right. So exactly, because it's harder, right, to stop it at the bottom.
Yeah.
So much harder.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we'll talk more about momentum and what that's all about in another show sometime.
Definitely we will. Yeah, I think that's big for both of us. So tell us, how'd you get into law of attraction, and what was your first major experience, manifestation, your favorite story?
Okay, cool. The first time I can consciously remember, I'm sure I grew up with little implants all along. My parents were really awesome at that. I'm lucky that they were into reading a lot of self-help books and all that. And so the Abraham Hicks books, of course, came across their, into their life at some point. But it didn't, what I remember as being my kind of first experience with it was when I was traveling through Australia. I was kind of backpacking around there on my own for a year. I love to travel.
Right. Adventure and travel, that is defines. Right. That's you.
Gotta be free. And I was going through a harder time. I was just struggling of being alone, and oh my gosh, I'm lost. I don't know what to do. And I had asked my parents, what should I be reading right now? What's a good book? And they're like, The Power of Emotions by Esther and Jerry Hicks. And I was like, okay, yeah, I went into a bookstore and that was like $34. And I'm like, I'm a backpacker and that's way too much. But there was something that I just said, I have to get this book. And I got it. And it was just one of those that I don't usually read from front to back, but I couldn't put it down. And I totally resonated with everything they were saying and what they were teaching. And it was just so simple for me to apply it and like start seeing what was going on in the days, like walking around and seeing people and understanding, why they were getting what they were getting. And it was so empowering. And so I started to use it in my travels right away. Like I needed a train ticket or I needed a bus somewhere, I needed a different job. And it was like I would do little things that they, talk about and suggest in the book and working on different relationships as well. And it was just like, it was like that aha, the light that goes off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's wicked. So that's, I guess, how I got introduced to it. And then from there I'm hooked.
There's no going back, right?
Yeah,
I love that.
This is where this is what I want to do. And yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? How did you first kind of get into it?
So my first manifestation that I can remember was when I was 13 years old, and so I was in 7th or 8th grade.
Not too long ago.
Ago. It was just a few years ago. And there was this contest to win $20, and I'm not even sure how I learned about visualization. But I went home and I visualized them calling my name. There was 5 $20 bills to be won between about probably 300 kids. And so I went home and I visualized them calling out Cassie Parks and me walking down the choir steps and to the front of the classroom and getting my $20. And it happened.
Awesome.
I was like,
yay! $20 in grade 7, man. That's a lot.
Right? Exactly. That was a lot of money then, especially a few years ago, you know? So I loved that. And so that was my first, where I knew I had that control, that power, that option, that choice, right, to live my life. And I don't think I utilized the tools until I got a little bit older. But from that point, I knew it was I'm addicted to that choice, I think, in a good way. I think, like you talked about, you're all in, and that's the same. It's I see that power, that power of that time. And just as I grew up, I got introduced to different things that taught me more. I understood also, in 7th or 8th grade, it's science, like attracts like. That's a scientific principle. That's not, something that's, it gets equated with New Age thought, but it really, I got that principle in 7th grade, like attracts like. When you're being a jerk, you're going to attract jerks. Things like that are going to happen. When something goes bad and you keep focusing on it, it happens again.
Yeah.
And so I really got that from a young age. And then the more I studied as I grew up, I was naturally attracted to these things that taught me about how these patterns work, how our thoughts and beliefs get influenced into it, how we have the power to make that choice, every day and every moment.
And every time, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then I'm like you, I'm just hooked, and I just keep, plugging along.
Yeah, that's awesome. You keep being drawn in, just naturally going with the flow and letting, the universe guide you towards what it is, you're meant to do. And,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, get clear on that. And do you find it gets easier the longer
oh my gosh,
you practice?
Yes, 100%. So much of what I teach my clients is that it's the same. I'm big into fitness and personal training, and so I also it's the same as when you're training a muscle. Your mind is a muscle, and I guess it's not really your mind, but your energetic body is a muscle, and you have to train it. You train your thoughts. The more and more you choose to go down a certain path, you choose the easy thought, you choose the positive thought, the easier and easier it becomes for you to choose those thoughts and be deliberate about finding the positive instead of just finding the negative, right? That's one of the biggest things. I'm sure we're going to say that a lot.
Right?
But one of the biggest things to just know is that, it gets easier and easier. Totally. Was it like that for you?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about this a couple of days ago. the couch story. I decided I just wanted I didn't want to go shopping for couches because it's not my favorite thing. I just wanted them to show. I just wanted a couch to show up, and within a week, 2 couches showed up.
Double time.
Double time, and I would say, like, if I was trying to do that 5 years ago, and I kind of really started to work my magic, like, that would have been a lot harder. I would have had to put a lot more energy in. I would have had to clear some other thoughts. I would have had to. But now it's gotten to that easier point where it's sort of like, just like, oh, I kind of like this, right? And you really are just turning in your order to the universe and you get it. Yeah.
It's funny because people ask me, they'll be like, I'll get something or do something or whatever will happen. They'll be like, well, how do you do that? And I'm like, okay, well, it's really easy, but it's like, I've just been doing it so long, I don't even know, that's just natural and normal now.
Yes.
So it does totally become easier and easier.
Yes, I totally agree. So if you're in that place where it feels a little bit tricky or like, you really have to be, focus on your awareness, just like Jenny said, know that you're training that muscle and it gets easier and easier.
Totally.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. So we've been talking all about what the law of attraction is today, what it means in our life. Jenny, what is the one thing you would tell someone if they wanted to put something into practice today from what they've heard from us and they just really want to start getting that good stuff flowing?
That's such it's great because I love that we're not only going to talk about it, we're going to kind of say like, hey, here's if you need it and if it feels good, here's your action step. So like we had already previously talked about a little bit, being the observer. So developing that and starting to develop that constant awareness of what's going on in your world and how you are interacting with your environment. So being the observer of your thoughts and how that your thoughts are connected to your emotions. So one of the first pieces of homework I actually ask a lot of my clients to do is, okay, I want you to write down, so if you observe your emotions, so say, yeah, okay, I'm feeling really happy. Okay, what am I thinking about? Oh, I'm thinking about having that chocolate that's in the freezer later. It's usually what my feel-good thoughts are about. Or, you notice you're walking down the street and you're feeling, less than good or sad or something. And then you automatically think, okay, what am I thinking about? Oh, I'm thinking about that I'm so overwhelmed and I have all this work to do today. So once you start to do this, you can make that connection between how what you're thinking about is related to the emotion you're feeling. So that's kind of the first thing I would say to people to start developing that awareness. What would be your thoughts on that? What's something they could do, put into practice today?
Awesome. Great tip from you, by the way, also. Mine would be to make the decision, make the choice every morning how you want your day to be. So when you get up, like, just consciously make the choice. Today is going to be a good day. Today is going to be a fun day. Today is going to be an exciting day. Choose something. Because choosing something, it doesn't have to be the same thing every day. It doesn't, one day it could be fun. One day it could be exciting. One day it could be peaceful. But choosing something anchors that in versus just leaving it open and getting out of bed and hoping that today is a good day. We can make that choice and choose. You're just going to have a better day from the get-go because you're being an active role in your life, right?
Yes, that morning time is so critical and key, and I love that you said that. So powerful.
Yeah, I think I think we've given people 2 awesome tips to get started. These are great ways to put stuff into practice. I love what you just be the observer, be aware, make the choice. It's a lot about what the law of attraction is about. Would you agree with that?
Oh, 100%, yes.
Yeah. Do you have any other final thoughts to share with people?
Well, I would love to hear what your money mantra is going to be.
It's going to be for the week. The money mantra, so we're going to do this all the shows, and this week is going to be money flows to me.
Awesome.
Yes.
Money flows to me.
Money flows to me. Isn't that juicy? And there's no, like, just say it as often as it feels
money
good.
Money flows to me. Money flows to me. Money
Well,
okay, I'm going to keep saying it.
I love that, right? And so as always with the mantra, and Jenny mentions this before, if it feels good, take it. If it doesn't, don't. But if that mantra, like I'm sitting across from Jenny and I see her smile when I say money flows to me, and I see her smiling when she repeats it. So if it feels good, do it. Awesome. Go with it. So I think that's all for us today. We're talking about the law of attraction. Join us next week. We're going to talk about all topics that are law of attraction, and to really help you be able to utilize the law of attraction in your everyday life to create the life that you want. So I
think we just have one final thing we're going to share with people.
Yeah.
How do you want to leave them with?
That's exactly right. And it is
Go Be Awesome! Thank you for joining us on the Manifest It Now show, where you learn how to leverage the law of attraction to manifest your dreams. Now that you're inspired, share the love and review us on iTunes. While you're there, remember to subscribe.